it is. It's just something about it I just like. I can't stop looking at it. And I know a lot of people are like, shit, Batman has giant hands, glowing green hands, which is like, it's kryptonite gloves, you idiot. I don't know what it is. Just something about the artwork. I just like it for some reason. I don't know what it is. And I love the Dark Knight Returns artwork and stuff, but when it comes to Year One is like the supreme book over Dark Knight Returns. I know that sounds blasphemy to people, but I love that fucking story more than The Dark Knight Returns. Like if there's ever a Batman film I would want to make, it is that one. I just want to make it just for some reason. I guess it's called passion. I want to make it just to be like, I'm the guy who made that. I don't know why. I feel like it's something I want to do. So, today's episode, I really don't have a drawn-out plan. There's like several things I recently started doing. I decided that I'm going to talk about, since it's October 1st, I'm going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre later on in this episode. For those who don't know, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of those classic films that a lot of people are disturbed by. But the thing about it is a really good horror film. It's not really a horror film when you watch the very first Texas Chainsaw that was made by Tobe Hooper. It is more like an art house horror film. There is no gore. There is violence, but they don't show it. It's very tastefully done. Like, you're left with the suspense of, like, these people are fucking crazy. I was never a big, Friday the 13th fan. I watched the Jason Voorhees films, and I just can't stand them. I know there's a lot of people in my family that loves those fucking films, but I look at them and they're just awful. They're just shit, in my opinion. I know some people are going to be like, you're a cynical asshole, but it is the truth. I mean, if you ever watch Friday the 13th, like, basically throughout the whole fucking franchises, if you have sex or you fuck somebody, you're dead. That is basically it. That is basically the whole premise of the film. You go to the campgrounds, Camp Crystal Lake. You party, you act like a jackass, you're being stalked by Jason, you bang and slash, you're dead. Basically the whole damn franchise. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made during the timeline of the Manson things. It was post-Manson phenomenon. And people, the thing about the Chainsaw films is it has a meaning to it. Like, it has a meaning. If you ever go to, I'm going to give a story to you people. Like, one time I went to a place called Potosi. Potosi is very in the woods. Very in the countryside of, like, you will have no cell phone reception. That deep in the woods. There's no big stores. There's no Walmart. There's no Target or Target, as some people call it. There's no big supermarket stores. It's a very in the town country place. To people outside of it, it would freak them out because there's like no cell phone reception. There's no big stores. It's like, where the fuck are we type of area. And I remember one time I went down. Oh, that's bad. It is. Like, I went down there with my sister, and the place scared the hell out of me. It looks so, like, it looked like something out of Deliverance. Like, hold on. I'm going to play something that I will basically in the background. If you hear something in the background, it's the fan and the air conditioning's on, because today they decided to make it 90 degrees. It's hot as hell outside, so let's see. Like, hold on. I'm going to play something that's pretty funny, but at the same time, I wish my internet would speed up. My internet was weird today. Like, I had the Amazon Fire Stick. I had to, like, restart it because it wasn't working. Anyway, down in Potosi, I was waiting for this to play. I was waiting for that to play. Like, if I heard the fucking banjos, I'd be like, get in the car, we're getting the fuck out of this area. But anyway, for those who've never seen Deliverance, it's really a terrifying film. It is one of those films today people will laugh at and joke about, but if you ever, like today, like you could do that now, but if you ever watched it back then, you'd be like, holy shit. I don't want to hear somebody go like, you got a pretty mouth. You don't want to hear that. So, anyway, I love the movie Deliverance because it has, Burt Reynolds, who is, like, God rest his soul, like, one of the greatest actors around. Burt Reynolds, like, I have to do an episode about him one day. He's one of those guys who got kicked in the teeth by Hollywood, by everybody. They never gave him the respect that he deserves. And, he married this woman who was a complete fucking bitch, who divorced him, who cheated on him and divorced him, and took everything he had, all his money, everything that he worked for. She took it all and still played the victim. And didn't give a damn about the guy when he died. Like, he died broke. He died with no money. He lived in the house that he built, but somebody bought it and they decided to let him live in it because he lived there most of his adult life. And they just destroyed this poor guy. Like, they ruined this guy's life until one day before he passed away, they decided to be like, he was a great man. And it's like, really, you couldn't just appreciate the dude when he was alive. But anyway. The Deliverance movie is really good. It's a really classic, terrifying film. You think Blair Witch was bad. Imagine it being in the woods and hearing, someone squealing, making pig noises, squealing. It's fucking terrifying. Anyway, it stars Jon Voight. Great actor, too. I like Jon Voight. And, of course, Burt Reynolds. So, it's a classic film. Anyway, I remember, going down there, it was really terrifying. It was like, it looked like, the best way I described it, I remember the first time I went down there, and when we left, I said it looked like the Andy Griffin Show from hell. Because the police station is a house, and the back rooms are just cells, like jail cells and all that. And I'm just going like, what the fuck? Because they didn't look. What was it? They didn't look stable. I don't know what it was. It just didn't look. It just looked totally unstable. And when we entered the town, people stopped and waved at us. Which, at that point, I'm just like, rolling them up. Because, you know, when people stare at you and wave at you, it is scary. It is not the opposite of like, hi, how are you? It is more like, roll the windows up, lock the doors. That's what it is. It's a terrifying place. But it looks so trapped in time. Do you ever go to a place? Yeah, that's creepy. Do you ever go to a place where you look at it and you're like, this place is totally trapped in time? It is like trapped in the period of the times that they want it to be in. Like, I went to another small town, further from Potosi, and I remember I took photos of it. I don't remember if I took photos of it, and I think I deleted them. But it was a really nice town, and I met the people that was in the cafe because I stopped in to get green tea espresso as something. I forget, it was like espresso tea. It was like tea. It had milk in it, and it was tea that had milk, and it was like espresso tea. Something, I forget what the hell it was. But it was really good, by the way. And I remember there was like a comic book shop, and I was waiting for it to open, and it didn't open. And I looked around this town. It was like a really nice town. And it had a movie theater, but the movie theater was closed. It just really looked trapped in a time period of the 1950s. And the point I'm making is with Texas Chainsaw, they live in a time period that they never evolved. Have you ever watched the film? The Sawyer family looked like they never evolved with the times. They always were stuck in a timeline. As weird as that sounds. But it's a really good film. I love the original. I love the first one, the second one, and the third one. Even the third one's kind of shitty, but they tried to make it good. But when you watch it, it's like you could tell like a big studio got behind it and started putting in money. And it's like, oddly enough, the Chainsaw films are like one of those type of films that needs to stay on a low budget. That doesn't need to be on a high, big budget process. I know a lot of people are like, well, Michael Bay's films. But still, you know, you look at the Michael Bay films, they were more about gore and violence than the subtlety of the story. When you look at the story of they are more about the story of the world. You look at well, anyway, this came in. I recently got this article. All Elite Pro Wrestling will partner up with DC Comics. Okay. That's weird. It always worries me. Like the last time I ever saw